Ah, the weekend. Who does not love the weekend? I love lazing around, but then I sort of say to myself, well, I really should get some makeup on now, I suppose. And originally I was going to do a kind of lazy Sunday makeup video, and then I thought, actually, on the weekend I get more time to do my makeup. So today I thought I would do something a little bit more makeup-y than what I would usually wear. My base, I'm going to be using the Lancome Teint Idole in number 011, which is Beige Cristallin, I think is how that's pronounced. And I'm amazed with this foundation. I have got away with wearing so many different shades. It's absolutely brilliant. I think there's 40 shades in the lineup. So I would be amazed if you didn't find one, because it's really comprehensive. You can see here that I'm using an excellent technique of just blending it with my fingers, which is absolutely fine. Sometimes I do that if I'm just feeling a little bit like I can't really be bothered to use anything else. I do still like to go over with the sponge afterwards though, just to make sure everything is nicely blended. But it's a lovely foundation. You can see it's not given a huge amount of coverage. There's still stuff showing through, but it's definitely evened everything out really nicely. So if you're not after mega coverage, but you just want a really nice long wearing foundation, then this is a really nice one, and I'm really quite pleased with it. I do need a little bit more coverage though, so I do tend to have to build it up quite a bit, and I am trying to just stick to using the one shade, because most likely I will be picking this up in the full size, and I only really want to be buying the one colour if I can help it. But 011 I am actually really quite liking. I think it's a good match for me. Next, it's the same step as usual, and I like to put primer on my eyelids. I've used this primer for the longest time. It's really good. I've not used many other ones, to be fair, but I do really like this one. You don't need much, and it should last me a really long time. Next is my usual brow routine, which you will have seen quite a number of times. My brows are freshly coloured here, so they're not needing too much help. But I go in with Hourglass's Arch Brow Pencil in the shade Warm Brunette, which I think I am just about getting my head around. I've not liked this shade for the longest time, but it's definitely doable. I just think I'd prefer something a little bit darker, and it's going to take a while for this one to run out, so I have definitely learnt to love this shade, but the formula I really like. You don't need much. I love the shape of the applicator, and it just goes on so easy and blends really beautifully as well. So I absolutely love this. It's definitely one of my more expensive purchases, but it is going to last quite a long time, and I love it. Speaking of brow products I love, I can't just get away with using Arch on its own. I do like to use a brow gel over the top, just mainly to bring the brow hairs back into prominence. It makes the brow area look a lot more natural. And this universal shade from Eyeko's brow gel I think is really nice. I'd be intrigued to know if it works very well on sort of lighter hair colours, so maybe blonde, and it just separates the hairs really nicely, holds them in place, and just makes them look a lot more natural than if you just left powder or like a brow pencil in it or something, because I prefer my brow hairs to be a lot more prominent. Next, I'm going to start my slightly more glamorous than my usual weekly look for eyes, and I'm going to go in with quite an easy base step of one of e.l.f's, are they called smudge pots? The little solid eyeshadows, and this is in the shade Crusin Chic, which I really like, and it just goes on so easy. I wish the pots were a little bit bigger, because you can't really fit your finger in them properly, but they're just so easy to use, and if I'm being really lazy I would just stop the look there and I'd be quite happy. But I'm going to pick up one of my favourite palettes of all time, Tarte's Sex Kitten, and go in with the matte shade Pour, just in the outer corner of the eye, just to mattify that shimmery look. and just deepen the colour a little bit just to make it slightly more dramatic than it was. Then I'm just going to try and blend the harsh lines away a little bit just so it seems to be a little bit more seamless. Blending a smudge pot is not the easiest thing to do in the world, but it does just help mesh the colours together. Then I'm going to go in with that middle shimmery shade in Feline, and I'm just going to run that under the lower lash line, which is not something I often do because I don't like the look on me per se, but with a light hand it can actually look quite nice. Next I'm going to go in with Wildcat, which is like a deep rich chocolate brown colour, and just on an angled Zoeva wing liner brush I'm just going to put that on the outer corner again just to deepen things and create a bit of a powder liner. I'm a massive fan of a powder liner. It's a lot more forgiving than if you were to use a liquid liner. Next we have mascara, and I'm still using It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara, which I am not 100% on. It does create some pretty instant drama, but things can go over the top very quickly, so you have to be pretty careful with it. But it does actually give quite a nice look to the eye, really quite a dramatic look in terms of what I would usually go for. It doesn't give the best length, but it does give quite a lot of volume. And yes, I did just poke myself in the eye because this wand is quite long and I manage to get it wrong sometimes. Like with most people, I have one eye that usually cooperates a lot better than the other one, and this for me is the eye that I'm working on right now, which is my right eye. And it just seems to be so much easier to get mascara on. I don't know what that's all about. It's frustrating, but also I suppose it's good to have at least one eye go right. It is one of these mascaras that you definitely have to quit with whilst you're ahead before it gets too clumpy, and you can see here that it does give a fairly decent amount of volume pretty quick, but just not a huge amount of length. But I do quite like it. I don't think it looks too bad in terms of what I was looking for. Now, no weekend face would be complete without a little bit of something special, and yes, that's a highlighter. This is Hourglass's Hypnotic Strobe Light. I actually really like this highlight, and I'm not a big highlighty kind of person. It does actually have quite chunky bits of glitter in it, not that it's going to show up on camera, but it's also got a really pretty glow as well, and it just looks very natural and gorgeous. And if I'm after something a little bit more special, then it's the one that I reach for because I just think it looks beautiful. Next we are moving on to cheeks, and I love this palette so much. It's the Zoeva Pink Spectrum Palette. All of the blushes in here have numbers as opposed to names. You can probably just about see them. And I'm feeling this one today, and you guys probably know about my unhealthy obsession with Zoeva brushes, but they're gorgeous, they're so soft. And I just wanted to quickly show you that it actually is a little bit more corally in real life than it is in the pan. And that lovely little cameo there from the boy just coming in to tell me something and then realising I'm filming and disappearing again. Yeah, this blush, it's one of these colours that I look at in the pan and I just don't reach for it, but when I use it, oh my goodness, it is so pretty. I really must remember to pick this blush up more often. I know, we're seriously going to Fancy Town right now. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette Volume 3 again, and this is the bronzer in that palette, which is called Luminous Bronze Light. And this is by no means any kind of expert technique in terms of contouring or anything remotely like contouring. This is literally just me slapping it about my face in the hope that I don't look like a Neapolitan ice cream. You know, the vanilla, strawberry and chocolate ice cream? Because you get dangerously close to that when you're fair-skinned and you're wearing a pink blush. But I just kind of run it around the perimeter of my face, and after a fair bit of blending in, it doesn't actually look too bad. It's pretty subtle, and this bronzer in particular is quite a glowy one, but then the whole face has gone quite glowy, to be fair. Next up, we're doing very easy lazy lips, and you guys, I have spoken about this so many times. This is from Marks and Spencer's. It's the Rosy for Autograph range, and it's the Lip Glossy in the shade Supermodel Smile, and I absolutely love it. It's so, so pretty. And that is my weekend face done. I just need to poof my hair up a little bit and make it look a little bit more kind of put together than it was before. But I absolutely loved this makeup look, and it is quite a go-to weekend look for me. It's not mega exciting, it's not mega dramatic, but it does it for me, and the fact that I've used a highlight and a bronzer is definitely something to be excited about. Oh, and also the powder liner as well. That's something quite exciting that I don't usually bother with during the week, and I think it just pulled together really quite pretty, even if I do say so myself. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I forget how much I love to do these kind of straightforward, me just filming something and then doing a voiceover with a bit of music. I actually really enjoy doing it, so if you liked it as well, let me know, and I will definitely do more in the future because, like I said, they are a lot of fun to make. Anyway, I hope you're all really, really well, and I will see you again soon. Bye! Yeah, you can tell that I'm still ill actually, can't you, with my voice?